In this video, we're going to talk about the 7 reasons that you need to raise your prices. Let's raise those rates up. How are you going to do anything if you keep making no money? You know, whether you are a coach, a counselor, a therapist, massage therapist, no matter what kind of business you have, every single year you need to be raising your rates. In this video, we're going to talk through 7 reasons why you need to raise your rates. The first reason why you need to raise your rates is you are getting more experience every single year. You're working with your ideal client, that's giving you experience as well. You're hopefully reading books, listening to podcasts, going to trainings, and in lots of ways getting more and more experience. This is increasing the outcomes and the value of the work that you do. So if you're not raising your rates, you're not valuing yourself. You're treating yourself like you were a year or 3 years ago by keeping those rates the same. So raise those rates, if only because you have the experience. The second reason to raise your rates is because every year your costs go up. I remember when I worked at a community college, and every year we had to contribute more to retirement, more to our healthcare, and we might get lucky and get a 1% raise. That didn't even keep up with inflation. Research shows that the average rent goes up 3 to 5% per year. So your costs are continuing to go up. That's another reason to raise your rates. Number 3 is it sets you up as an expert. I mean, think about it. If you go out to eat and there's a $10 hamburger and there's a $20 hamburger, and the person says, this is an amazing hamburger, you have to try it. It has an egg on it, it has bacon, it has cauliflower, like whatever the thing is, you're gonna get that $20 hamburger. Because when you have that expert in front of you, you're gonna ask yourself, oh, what did I miss out on by not doing that? The same is true in your private practice. However it is that you work with people, people are going to see you as the expert if your rates reflect that. So even if you're only 20% better than everyone else, but you're 50% more expensive, people are going to walk away saying they're expensive, but they're worth it. They're totally worth it. We got faster outcomes because we worked with that person. The fourth reason to raise your rates is that you can then spend more on clients. You can buy books for them or handbooks, or you can have special drinks or lattes for them in the lobby while they're waiting. You can also pay people to follow up with them differently, create e-courses or other ways that you can support your clients outside of your typical time together. When you raise your rates, you have that extra time and that extra capital to be able to reinvest into the outcomes of your clients that you're working with. Also, it frees up more time. Imagine someone was charging $175 per hour, and then they worked 20 sessions per week, and then they worked 48 weeks a year. That's $168,000 a year. Now, if someone's charging $125, that would take them 28 sessions. So you actually have 8 extra hours for the extra money that you haven't raised your rates in. The 6th reason to raise your rates is it's much easier to add other people. So if you're looking at adding clinicians or consultants to your healthcare practice, it's so much easier when your rates are higher, because then it's easier to hand them off to other people. So say your rate is $175 per session. You can say, hey, I have Jan over here who does it at $150 a session, or you can have your virtual assistant do that. So adding people is easier when you're not at the bottom of the market or even the middle of the market. So then you can add mid-level people and new people at a lower rate. So it makes it much easier to fill up those additional clinicians or consultants that you have in your private practice. The last reason to raise your rates is that you get to keep seeing people and not have a wait list. A wait list is a terrible idea. What that indicates is that you're about to burn out. When you say, I'm only going to see 20 people, and after that I have a wait list, what happens is those people are going to move on to someone else and move on to a different private practice. I want you to retain those people. So how much do you need to charge in your private pay practice in order to feel like you can show up for that 21st session? If people want to work with you, they should be able to work with you, or you should have clinicians that you can hand them off to. Raising your rates is one of the best ways for you to not have a wait list, to make more money, and to work fewer hours. For more tips on how to raise your rates, this is part of a 4-part series on raising your rates. Make sure you watch all the other videos. If you have questions, please comment below and make sure that you subscribe to this series.